It's a book haul. I'm ready. Let's go. Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today I have a very exciting video, and it's a book haul. I have not filmed a book haul in a pretty long time, so these are going to be books that I've accumulated over the past couple of months. So some of them, it's been a while since I got them, and some of them I've gotten recently, and I'm not going to show them in any order of when I got them, and some of them I've read, some of them I haven't read yet, but I have a few books that I'm excited to show you and talk about. And I felt like it was time to film a book haul, because if I buy any more books now, I'm not gonna be able to film a book haul. So I'm feeling like it's time to film this so I can move on and collect more books without having to feeling like it's getting too much. So yeah, let's just get started. So the first book is, I actually didn't buy, I kind of borrowed it / it's mine now, because my dad does not reread books, and it's been sitting at my parents' house basement for years. And I saw the movie on TV, or like I didn't watch it because I wanted to read the book, but I saw it was on, I was intrigued, and I was like, I should read the book because it's just a classic and I haven't read it. I'm not sure I will like it, but I feel like it's one of those books that you have to read in your lifetime, and that is The Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown. So this is the Swedish hardback cover. I wanted to buy, you know, the English one, but then I remembered I think my dad has one, and I think it would be kind of good to read this in Swedish, because I think it's a very mature adult book. So I think if I'm gonna understand it, at least for the first time, I should read it in Swedish. So if I enjoy this, I'm gonna buy a English hardback version and give this back to my dad. But yeah, so this is actually really pretty for a Swedish book, because a lot of the Swedish covers are really ugly in comparison to the American / UK ones. So actually really excited about this one. And the movie had Tom Hanks, I think that's his name, and I was really intrigued. It was kind of like mysterious and exciting, so I was like, I should read the book, and I'm very excited to do so. Hopefully I will get to this fall, because I feel like it's a very appropriate for the season, kind of dark and spooky, and you know, so I'm very excited about this one, and I do really enjoy the cover. Next book is Beyond the Break by Heather Buchta. This was a while ago I got this, and I have read it. I think I even have a reading blog on it. I really enjoyed it. What made me buy it was only the cover, and you know, the fact that it's about surfing. So cool. But I feel like it was a mediocre book. I did enjoy it, but nothing really special. We followed this girl who, she and her brother loved surfing growing up, and then her brother got in a very bad accident, ending up in a coma, and her parents forbid them to ever surf again because they were scared, obviously. And during that rough time, this girl found God, and kind of, you know, he helped her through this rough time with her brother, and she made a promise that she would never surf again, that the only relationship she would have was with him, not any other relationship with a guy. And then this guy comes along and kind of ruins it for her, but also helps her overcome fears and remember, like, help her remember who she really is and what she really loves. So a very powerful and beautiful story, but also nothing too special. But what definitely drew me in was the cover. So the next book I got is Brightly Burning by erikssontowa, which also was a cover by, and also it is pitched as like a Jane Eyre set in space, which is just like, wow. I haven't yet read this, hoping to read this fall, but haven't picked it up yet, but I'm very excited to. I love science fiction if I'm in the right mood, so I definitely will be picking up this one next time I want to read a science fiction. Next book is Daughter of the Pirate King by Tricia Levenseller. This I really enjoyed. I feel like a lot of you guys have already read it, but I bought it because I've heard great things about it, and I was really in the mood for pirates, which is so cool, and I loved this one. We follow Alosa, who is the daughter of the Pirate King, and she gets abducted, or she plans to get abducted. It's in her plan by these men, by their like enemy ship, and while she's there, she has this plan to receive a hidden map that will lead to a treasure that her dad wants. So she gets abducted, but what those guys doesn't know is that she wants to get abducted, and she's planned this all along. And also what's really interesting, you get to find out something about her, that she's not only human, and she has a way to lure these men in and to get whatever she wants. And it's kind of one of those really cool badass female lead pirate, and so freaking cool. So if you're in the mood for a badass female lead pirate story, with a little bit of romance, I definitely recommend this. I can't wait to read the second book, which is called The Daughter of the Siren Queen, I believe, so that is definitely on my TBR. The next book I picked up is Emma by Jane Austen. This is very simple but yeah, beautiful Penguin Libraries edition, I believe. I don't really know, but what I like about these editions is that they're so easy to read in comparison to a lot of other classics editions. You know, the big super beautiful ones, they're beautiful but they're really hard to read. So I ended up getting this one because I want to read it. I haven't, so I got like an easy copy to read, very floppy, and I do have other classics in these editions and I do really enjoy them and I find them very easy to read. So but yeah, this is something that I'm very excited to read. I've not been in the classic mode recently, and I feel like when winter and fall is coming, I'm not going to be in a classics mood, definitely not a story like this. So this will probably be waiting for me until spring or summer season. Honestly, if I'm gonna be honest, I'm probably not gonna read this until then, but I am very excited to pick it up. I was actually with a friend shopping when I got this and she really liked it and recommended it, so that's why I got it. And also, you know, it's a classic. I feel like I should read it. The next book I got is Girl in the Walls by A.J. Gnus. I have read this and I did enjoy it. It was very unique and kind of spooky in a little bit of way, but it was not what I expected, but still a kind of okay book. We follow this girl who her parents passed away, but she still lives in the house that they lived in, you know, in the walls, in the attic, trying to live her life as best as she can, hiding from the family that now lives in the house. And she's doing okay. No one really knows she's there until the two boys in the house start to notice things are missing. They hear sounds at night and they notice food is gone that they haven't eaten. So they found help online when their parents are gone, to kind of, because they think it's a bad spirit, think it's a ghost, which I think you naturally think, and they kind of hire this guy who's gonna exorcise her away, I guess. But later on they found out that it's just a little girl that's scared and alone and that she's not dangerous at all. So unique, I would say, but also kind of fascinating, and I'm glad I read it. I don't regret it. And yeah, also probably a cover buy because I love this cover. It really speaks to me. Wow. But yeah, it was not what I was expected, but it's fine. The next book I got is also one of the most recent ones I got, and that is The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. I am so excited for this. You guys have no idea how I feel. So freaking excited. It's gonna be my first adult fantasy, I think. Yeah, I'm a little bit intimidated because it's a brick, it's a weapon, it's a lot, but I feel so excited and ready to just dive into a deep and really good fantasy. And this is obviously hugely well spoken of. I only read so many good reviews on Amazon when I bought it, and I'm so freaking excited. I've read a few of Brandon Sanderson's books, but that's been YA, so never any adult books, and I'm so freaking excited. I'm hoping to get to this year. I would love for it because this is, I feel like, is one of those perfect ones for autumn and winter. So I'm so excited about this entire series. I hope I love it so I can buy the other books. I just want to read it now, honestly. I think this is gonna be like a book that I pick up soon, honestly. I'm so freaking excited. Next book I bought is Punk 57 by Penelope Douglas. If you saw my reading vlog on this one, you know I love this one. 5 out of 5 stars. We follow this girl and guy who has been sending letters to each other for like 7 years, I think, because they got paired up. They live in different cities and different schools, but they was paired up for like an English class, I believe, to write letters to each other to improve their writing, I guess. And the teacher thought that they were the same sex, but one is a girl and one is a guy, and they've been having this connection for 7 years, and they made a promise that they weren't gonna try to find each other, they weren't gonna look at pictures online, they would just have this special connection via letters, which is so pretty and beautiful and unique, I think, today, in today's society. And then all of a sudden they meet. You know, it's very angsty romance kind of thing, very hot. I love Penelope Douglas's romance books, or the ones I've read. And the guy ends up coming to her school and she has no idea that that's him, but he knows that it's her, and he's kind of really mad at her and he kind of hates her, which is very confusing for me as a reader first, but then you kind of find out. And it's really good. Definitely, if you're looking for an angsty teen romance kind of thing, I definitely recommend Punk 57. The next book is also romance, but not the teen angsty type. It's more of the adults, beautiful, heartfelt one, and that is It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. This was my first Colleen Hoover book and definitely not my last one. So freaking beautiful, and I cried at the end, which says a lot because I'm usually not a big crier. I never cry, so it says a lot. It says a lot. So Lily is just graduated from college, and you know, she's not really happy with her life and her job, and her dream is to start a flower shop, which she managed to do. And then she meets this guy Ryle, who seems perfect, you know, a little bit too good to be true kind of thing. And they kind of, you know, he's very flirty and arrogant and very like cocky, I would say, and they kind of, you know, starts to fall for each other. But then one of Lily's old friends, old lovers, they have a really special relationship because when they were kids, Lily kind of helped him. He was homeless, and they have this really special connection, and he was her first kiss, first everything. But when they were kids, you know, they kind of got separated naturally as you move and stuff. And one day when Ryle and Lily eats at this restaurant, Atlas happens to be there, and it happens to be the owner of the restaurant, and Lily is obviously very surprised to see him there, and he kind of is getting a way back into her life. While that is all happening, Ryle and Lily's relationship is taking a turn. He's not what she thought he would be, and it's just very heartbreaking and heartfelt. Definitely trigger warning for domestic violence, abuse, and rape, and truly a beautiful, heart-wrenching story about love and what love really means. So definitely be aware of that, but it's such a beautiful book, and I do definitely recommend it if you're interested. The next book is Corrupt by Penelope Douglas. This is the first one in the Devil's Night series, I believe it's called. Honestly, I do not know a whole lot about this, which I'm planning on keeping it that way. I kind of want to go into this without really knowing too much. I've heard really good reviews and stuff, but I don't really know what it's about, which I want to keep it that way. But I do love the cover. Super cool, and I feel like it's going to be perfect for the autumn winter because I feel like it's kind of dark if you look at the cover. So I'm very excited, and as I said, I love Penelope Douglas, so can't wait to dive into this and hopefully like this so I can buy the other books in the series. And also by Penelope Douglas, I picked up Credence, which I recently finished, and I have mixed feelings about this one. I did enjoy it, and it's perfect if you're looking for a, like, maybe if like in your reading slump and you kind of want something easy, fast, smutty, unrealistic things. No, but I feel like you're either gonna really like it or you're really gonna hate it, because I do get the problematic situation. I understand and I respect that, obviously, and this is one of those you have to like separate reality from fiction. We follow this girl, Kiernan, who is a few months away from being 18, so she's technically a child, and when her parents pass away, people think it's suicide. She gets to live with her uncle, which is not really her uncle. They're not blood related, so step uncle, which is important to know. And he has 2 sons living with him in the middle of nowhere in the woods, and they run their own business building motorcycle vehicles, something like that. So she gets to live with them, and things take a turn. She's really hurt because she never really had a good relationship with her parents, and then all of a sudden she has a caring uncle and 2 cousins that really feel good, and I think she's very confused and looking for affection, which, you know, yeah, things happen in this house, and I get the bad reviews, I get it. I think it was an okay book, and it was, yeah, a little bit special and a little bit weird at times, yes, but overall I think it was okay. The next book I picked up is Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens. It's been a while since I picked it up, and it's been a while since I've read it. I think I have a reading vlog on it. I adored it. It was a straight on 5 out of 5 stars. One of my new favorite books of all times. We follow Kaya, also known as the Marsh Girl, who you get to follow her until like a very young age, up until she's old. Basically her entire life you get to follow this girl, woman, lady, and you know, her parents and her siblings leave her, so she's kind of alone. She lives in the North Carolina bush, you know, in the marsh, I guess, and you get to follow her as she's coping with life on her own, figuring out life on her own because she doesn't have anyone, and her love for creatures and nature and the marsh. And it also has a beautiful love story in it. It's such a powerful, heart-wrenching, beautiful story about this girl and how people can be so cruel, and how it was really inspirational. I think I really got me thinking afterwards, and really left me in such a weird state of, I don't even know, I can't even talk about it. It's so freaking good. So if you haven't read it, please do. So freaking beautiful and good. And I didn't even want to read this. I've never had it on my TBR, and then one day I was at the bookstore and they had like buy 4 get 1 off our paperbacks, and I was like, oh, I need one more, and this was there, and I was like, doesn't really look like something I would like, because it doesn't, but I got it and I'm so freaking glad. That's also one of the super important ones, that like, don't judge a book by its cover. But now I think it's beautiful, but when I bought it I didn't think it was nice at all. It didn't look like something that I would want to read, but oh, I was wrong. It's so freaking good, and I'm so glad I read it. A little caffeine break. Yeah, move on. The next book I picked up is Last Night at the Telegraph Club by Melinda Lo. I recently finished this one and I did really enjoy it. We follow Lily, who is a Chinese American living in Chinatown, San Francisco, which is also why I picked it up. It's because it was set in San Francisco, and that's one of my favorite cities in the entire world. I've been very lucky to have parents that love traveling, so as a kid I've been traveling a lot around the world, and San Francisco is definitely one of my favorite cities of all time. So freaking beautiful, and so it was very cool to read this. It was very atmospheric being in San Francisco. So we followed Lily, who in the 50s, it's very taboo and very wrong to be gay, and it's very not something that you want to do in public or talk about, or even, you know, it's in the 50s in America. And Lily kind of is trying to discover herself and trying to, you know, she want to please her parents, she want to please the society. It's also very important to be true to yourself, you know what I mean? So Lily feels like she doesn't really want to lie to her parents anymore, and she kind of want to be who she wants to be, which is gay. And it's a beautiful but also really difficult to read at times, to, you know, people's reaction and her parents, heartbreaking that it's not okay to be gay in this society. But in a society where that's not okay, it's obviously very difficult and heartbreaking. And she kind of meets this girl, and you follow their relationship as that evolves, and it's truly a beautiful, also difficult story to read, of course, because it's such a, you know, it's such a bad thing being like this back then, and you get so upset and frustrated when you read about it, and you kind of just wish that it wasn't like that. And how the world has been, it's kind of crazy and super sad, but definitely an important story, I believe, and definitely glad I read it, and I definitely recommend it if you're interested. Also, the cover is gorgeous. Honestly, one of my favorite covers, I believe. Super pretty. But yeah, a hard but really important story. I recommend it. Next books I got is a series. I have the 3 first one. I think there's one more book that I haven't got yet. I plan on getting it, but I just haven't really gotten to it yet, and that is the Off Campus series by Elle Kennedy. So we have The Deal, which is the first book, The Mistake, which is the second book, The Score, which is the third book. So in these ones we follow a group of people, kind of the same group of people but different main characters each time. And I feel like it's very similar. I would compare it to the Field Party series, where you follow the same group of people but different main characters. In the Field Party series we have a football team, I believe, the guys, but here we follow hockey guys, which is new and refreshing, because I feel like in a lot of books it's always it's always football players or soccer players, but here we follow a hockey player team with the guys, and each in this book follow one girl and one guy, and the guy is always one of those typical jocks that doesn't want a relationship, just wants to play around, don't have time for a relationship. You know what, he has hockey, he has school, not a time for a girlfriend, you just want to have fun. And every time there's this one girl who changes his mind. It's very fun, easy. If you're in a reading slump and you want something easy and fun, super fast paced to read, I will definitely recommend these books. I would not say it's an epic romance love story. I would say it's a fun, realistic, a little bit angsty, hot, sexy, teen love situation. Yeah, I do really enjoy these books, and I really do want to get my hands on the fourth book, which is The Goal, I think. And then it has like a spin-off series which is called the Briar U series, which I'm also really interested in, and it's on my TBR. So if you're looking for something easy, fast-paced kind of romance, I would definitely recommend these books. The next book I got is A Vow So Bold and Deadly by Bridget Kimmer. This is the third and final book in the Cursebreaker series, and I just finished it just recently. And I can't really say too much about this one because obviously it's the third book, so if you haven't read the first two, it's gonna be, I'm gonna give away things, so I don't want to do that. But I did really enjoy the conclusion and ending to this story. It's a Beauty and the Beast retelling, and you follow a kingdom, you know, that's cursed. And then during the first book, he's trying to break the curse by finding a girl who is going to fall in love with him, and obviously that's hard because you can't force love. And the third book was very interesting because you follow two kingdoms and how they're kind of fighting against each other, but they have this other common enemy that they fight against. And I think it's a truly easy fantasy story to read, so if you're just starting out on fantasy, I would definitely recommend this. Very easy, informal language, so definitely pick it up if you're looking for something like that. The next book I got is It by Stephen King. I'm so excited to read this. I'm planning on reading it on Halloween. I'm a little bit intimidated because look at it. Look at this brick of a book. But I'm so excited. I've heard that it's not only like a horror book, but I've heard that it has a really good storyline, which I want in a book. It's not just to be scary and whoa, it has to have a good storyline, and I'm so glad, and I'm so excited to read this, you guys. And I'm definitely vlogging it. I'm definitely gonna vlog it, so stay tuned for that. I'm so excited. Finally, the last book that I've got is The Institute by Stephen King, which I just finished. I have a reading vlog on it and I have a book review on it. I really loved it. It was my first ever Stephen King book that I've read. We follow two timelines. Tim, who is a former cop who wants something quieter, calmer job, so he takes on a job working nights at a local sheriff's office in a super small quiet town. And then we follow Luke, who is a 12-year-old genius who gets abducted in the middle of the night from his parents' home. And he wakes up at the Institute, which is a kind of governmental facility that they do experiments on kids and they do tests and kind of brainwashes them, I would say. And Luke and the other kids there are trying to find a way to escape. They also find out that the Institute has facilities all over the world, and they have gifts, the kids there. They have a gift of telekinesis and telepathy, which is super cool and unique. So with their minds, the kids all over the world try to find a way to escape. And you kind of are waiting for Tim and Luke paths to intersect. Such a cool story, definitely a little bit slow paced at times, but I think it really works with the story. So super spooky, thrilling, and I really enjoyed it, and I would definitely recommend it if you're looking for something this spooky season. That was all the books for my book haul. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you guys in one of my next videos. Bye!